phone in her hand, and she was actually in the middle of two conversations, one with her cousin and one with his co-worker before he got there. And those conversations stopped. She never answered replied to those messages after he arrived. And the one conversation was about work, whether or not they were going to have school the next day, or if they were going to have a delayed day, because it took place on a major snowstorm. Canton got about a foot of snow that night I should say. So he left her apartment quickly, and if you get a chance to look up the video of when he walked into her apartment, because it was not normal how he walked in. He walked in with his head up. He was an anti-masker. He had a mask on, and he was walking in with his head down so you couldn't see his face. He was trying to hide his identity. But thankfully, the maintenance man recognized him, and they figured out who he was. And all Sandra's friends and family were saying, you gotta talk to Officer Matthew. So we're here because Sandra deserves to get justice. She deserves for her case not to be buried. She deserves for a true investigation to happen. And hopefully right now, with the FBI looking into her case and the Massachusetts State Attorney General looking into Sandra's case, she will get the justice that she deserves. Whether it be from her death investigation portion or from the abuse that was put upon Sandra by these three officers, because especially Matthew Farwell, he should be in prison for raping a 15-year-old. They were people that she looked up to. She wanted to be a police officer. She looked up to them and she confided in them. They became such part of her life. And they took advantage of Sandra, and it's not right. And they should all be in jail, but especially Matthew Farwell for raping a 15-year-old girl. It's not right what happened, and it's not right that her case has been covered up. And that's why we're here, because the people of Stoughton and the people of Canton need to know her name. And they need to know what happened to her, because there could be other children. There was other children who went through this program. There could be other children that this happened to. We don't know. And that's part of the investigation that needs to be looked into. Sandra is an iceberg. And what an iceberg is, there's the tip that pokes out of the water. But the question is what's underneath. And that's something that needs to be looked into. There were a lot of kids that went through the Stoughton Police Explorers program. Are there other children that this happened to? And also, other children might have information on what happened to Sandra. There are other children who saw the way they treated Sandra, that things were a little weird. So hopefully some of those children come forward. Because now they're adults. And they wouldn't want their child to be in that situation. They wouldn't want their sister or their cousin or their mother to be, for them to have happened to what happened to Sandra.
And if it did, how can they get in contact with you?
If you go to the Massachusetts
It's a lot today.
If you go to the Justice for Sandra Birchmore Facebook page, you can message me. I click on Mixed Girl in a Mixed Up World. That's what I post under, and you can just message me that way.
And I know I've said stuff before that you've never repeated, so anything you send to her is in strictest confidence.
Yep.
Just so you guys know. What's next?
I will ask you, hey, can I promote that? But I won't use your name. I ask permission for that.
Yeah. So what's next here? Where's the next standout?
Well, in May we're gonna have a big month because Stoughton and Canton both have their yearly meetings. So we're gonna do some promoting at both of those in the same day. So when Stoughton's meeting is on May 6th. So that afternoon we'll do a standout in Canton and then come over to the Stoughton nightly meeting. And then same thing, on May 13th is Sandra's birthday. And
Okay.
that's the night that Canton has their yearly meeting.
Really?
So that's the big one. We're gonna come here.
What was the date?
May 13th. It's a Monday. May
Okay.
13th.
That's
we're
gonna be
gonna come
interesting.
and stand over there. That's City Hall. And we're gonna celebrate Sandra's birthday, and we're gonna hold signs so people here know her name. And then that night we'll go over to the Canton meeting and stand out there so that people of Canton will know Sandra's name. So if you want information, I will be posting that information soon. I always post, updates, and you can either find out there or you can look on Twitter. I've been posting information there under @Sandra Birchmore.
I have another question for you. The Karen Reed trial,
Yes.
right? How is that affecting you and Sandra as a whole, as you?
Well, I know there are some people who go there and hold up Sandra signs at the Karen Reed hearings. But if I wanted to go protest, because the civil trial is going on right now, they're going through the motions where they do have hearings for her civil case. And if I wanted to go hold up a Justice for Sandra Birchmore sign there, I wouldn't be able to because of
The ruling.
You can't protest.
So you can't even protest for Sandra because of what she ruled on
Yes.
for that other case.
Yes.
Imagine that.
So it's unconstitutional what she's taken away from people who have nothing to do with the Karen Reed trial. I can't go there and hold this sign because I'll get arrested. And you just don't do it. It's not right. She could have tailored, I've said it before, she could have tailored that order to make it so people can still protest, but it's a little more tame with, can't wear Karen Reed stuff. But you can protest the government. You can protest Morrison, and you can protest Loud, and you can protest the police. Because they're the government. We should be able to protest them. She could have tailored it and said you can't put, witnesses' names, and you can't say anything to the jurors. She should be bringing the jurors in by the back. So many trials do that. They bust the jurors in and they bring them in through the back. There is no reason why she didn't do that. It's wrong. So like I said, I cannot even go there and stand out there and hold a sign because I would get arrested.
All right, I have one more question, and it's really to be hard.
It's what?
It's going to be a hard question,
Okay.
and I've had no one ask this question to you.
Okay.
What would you say to Sandra if she was right here next to you now?
If you need to get away from them, and if you need a friend, if you need to talk, here. I would have called her, I hate to say it this way, but I would have called her out on the BS about hiding it from everyone. She had family that she couldn't talk to because she was groomed, and that's the problem. She was groomed. Children that are groomed, they hide, especially when the relationship has continued. They hide it. That's what they're told to do. They're told you won't be able to be in their life anymore if you tell somebody. So I would have tried to help get her away from this. And there was one thing I want to say, because I got into an argument